This is an old Milwaukee. Oh God, what's the model number on here? Model number 6546-1, or catalog number. It's a 2.4 DC, 200 to 400 RPM, and it has obviously forward, backward, and it has torque in inch pounds right here. And you got low and high. This is if you're doing a lot of stuff with electronics like I was at the time, man, this is a time saver. You know, it's you don't over torque nuts or bolts or screws or whatever. So get that out of there. Get this out of here. I got this mat. This is a nice mat. It's all silicone. So basically I'm just removing these screws that I had already loosened. And then I kind of have to do some, gotta do this. So, okay, put on my glasses so I can show you all the board there. Oh wow, that's interesting. That is too interesting. Okay, so basically, looking at the board here, let's see. That's the positive. That's the positive side. This is the negative side. There's the 3 holes. Maybe y'all can see them. God, what can I point with? Here, I'll point with this. See if I can do that. So there's a hole there. There's a hole there. There's a hole here. Okay. Well, these two over here, these two, are not even connected. There's no etch connecting these guys. So when I looked at that, I thought, great, you know what? I'll just order a regular 10,000 microfarad capacitor at 80 volts. The problem I was having was that the distance of these guys between these was 10 millimeters, and these are like 23. Yeah, could I have finagled it and, you know, put the cap sitting a certain way and run some wires and stuff? I guess I could have done that. But anyway, so I just figured out that all these guys are there for is just to support all the outer, these guys here, the outer ones, because basically they're taking the capacitance from here to there. Okay? From here to there. So all these are doing is just to support the cap. And I can understand this environment. It's in a subwoofer and there's going to be a lot of pounding going on. So, all right. Now over here on the negative side, okay, so on a typical amp, and I'm not going to get real heavy duty into it, you're going to have positive voltage and negative voltage. Okay? And these are basically the filters. You know, you have AC coming in, AC, and then it goes through a bridge rectifier, which is this guy right here. Let me go back over here, show you. This guy. Bridge rectifier. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it goes through there. This is some relay right here turning stuff on. It's a relay. and then it goes over here to some caps. Actually, this is another. Yeah, this is another. What do you call it? Another bridge rectifier. So, so this is. I'm going to assume this guy's for the 80 or 75 volts plus and minus for the amp section, and then this guy over here are for the electronics. I got them. I got the you know where you turn on the sub and all that. I got that system somewhere over there, but it plugs in right here. That's where it plugs in right here. And so that more than likely that's using maybe 15 plus or minus 15 volts or something like that, or less than that. Who knows? And that's probably coming from here. And these two are regulators right here. These two. And these are the caps that are filtering out any residual AC. So, all right. So let me put these in and then see what happens. And they should just go in. Just like so. Yep, there's one. And they can only go in one way, okay, because of the three holes there. All right, see this one? All right, so now what I'm going to do is set it up here, and then get my iron, which I just got some brand new tips for it. I need to have this standing up some way somehow. There you go, right there. So I can do that one there. I'll use the old caps just to hold up. All right. Alrighty. So I got some iron. My iron is pretty hot already. Got some solder. Okay, that one's soldered. That one's soldered. That one's soldered. That's soldered. That's soldered. That's soldered. And that's soldered. Okay, now I don't have my real nice pace, and I just decided to use my 60 watt, my old 60 watt Weller that I've had this since 1981 when I started as a tech, and from this I went to a nicer off-brand temperature controlled, and then of course I do have a real nice pace machine, but the reason why I went with this is because I needed a tip, and my pace has a big tip like this too, so I could transfer a lot more heat onto the board and get the soldering done a lot quicker. One of the things about soldering is you don't you don't want to have the tip on the etch, which are these little silver looking things, too long while you're soldering, because then the etch will start to lift, and then that becomes a problem. Okay, so all right, the soldering is done well here, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to turn it on and see what happens. Although I'm noticing some heat over here. Okay. Trying to see what type of 7912C. So it's 12 volts, plus or minus 12 volts. And I bet you this is 78. I can't see it very well. 79, 78. Those were the starting numbers for those. Okay. What I'm going to attempt is I'm going to go ahead and put it back together and then connect it and see if it'll turn on. So I'll be back in a bit.